Ebusi anonsia na nyina abo ye mamu nyina adwo e mama kwa abade moba KFM TV eso ene ya guys boso me ne de kan e wa fimpi mienu ene aduonu enumu ye kase esan so twato e wona otumu ne eboabo ano a ye de nyina no e ba beso mo no ye fa asedama aboafo a wo mo ebo ye chi dom ye hyase a ye call KFM Musical Center wono matena ye bo edin dia no se instrument papa hodi wo meti apone konanimu no enom na omudi aba edwaman so eboa ye enwum toku ahodo ankwankwa enwum ku ahodo amuhia instrument ai wonanim no wosemo begibie na ekobase sikasem ne nkoyi mfa mamo a twetwa na kapre tekuda amasempo a ebo ano abefa wade djubedie ne hihye ye omaya ato ha ma Ghana de hye nyina sansen satia anya nyina anya pinti no san hihye na omudi egu ho a omudi boa obi a DJ sahodo ye ko weekend die mo bebo show sahodo na mo spinning machines no se mo begibi chese bebre na ne wo ho ko ha obema obi na bibia na timi ewie mu die edi aman kramantem ha die utu fa no akwa akopie mu ewo Accra Zongole wo asante mantem so ye dum Sambra Hotel no woni omo ebo animhwe KFM Musical Center akọ ho a instrument bia na obema obi na bibia na timi akoyie edi ama ye fra ne ekọ talent microfinance sikasem besia no mudi aba besi ebetimi aboa na wenya sika emu edru pa de ahye wadwuma mu kena na edwuma wo ye no betimi de apagem no mo se begibi na bibia ne nkoye emfa ma o ekoba se wan soso no wo obi da ho mo nje nkra fantu ye ma wa eno so musie ewo ho ombehwe so kama infinhia bebre no obekwa akofa osika o ha bia embechi ene ne dwumadi a talent microfinance wonom eye mantam bebre no mu de wo matoto apetimu a wo mo bo adwuma denden de ben wo no kwa ombehwa isikasem ni ye etimi edi ama yemfri hwe na de otwa so kra ne yenko dadaba tech hub phone se ne ho accessories enti phone bia o hia bia no ko dadaba ene ho akade ne empempena de nyina no benya etimi bia mama bibia na koyie kama upe bi nso etu akwa akoton a wo be ma obi na bibia no etimi ewie mu die upe bi ni doso promo a koho dadaba be ma obi na bibia na akọ kama etimi dia ma kaneshi ena wowo bia ya atakwa station e hye wo mo pai no udru ho dadaba ajosio no ewo hokohwe normal phones ni bi enkita na sankofa yenchi ntino yenda enini enko kaneshi kwa sanse follow me to Naki's kitchen wono so ewo ho eduane papa fie enene ho we can see be so mo anka sanfa ngushe mu fambre we delivery omuye bie eduane pa de ye de odi akọ na eduane mu no ewo se wo hu de wo di se be yankofa ohaw ni sunsanso bia entimi fambre se efufu se emutu se ye banku se ye mo eduane bia follow me to Naki's kitchen wo mo ewo bi kaneshi ena wono me wo fa number na na wetimi afro mo se ne omonyema obia no ombe nhihye ni ye kama etimi dia ma nyumekoi ena na nyume omobo mechidom ema me dia nyume no nsi akase no etimi abrewo KFM TV eso edi ameje so no Afia Fosuah Oduahoma Sresrebidi from Afia ye twan yo hamba sisia Amisa sonda asemo akwa ababi mfambra KFM TV eso ena nwumre nsem ne dos don hwe ba kuntem ye den nyina no ba beso mu sekase da de edi mu akotini bi ne say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wakasa de course so enam so ama sentreni eyo osra ni bi ye ne basabasa ya yakayaka de no waba montin mu che say wo senhwehwemu mapa itimi koso ewo sansem ni musanse yeso so a enya de say itimi ebe konsem foforo mu etimi edi amount na nanumas na nkunya wono mu aframantam mu no wo mu de adesrede pe kwa mampanyifo senke be ya immigration officers or more checkpoints ahodo bebre na adwuma wo se o mo ye na ide ahye o mo nsa no enye sa pepepe na wono mu ye nti ke be ya nkanyen wo mechi kunsa na o mu mfiri ho na o mo sefata no wo mo brambe ye adwuma na ebebo ere ye edwedie ensemu dom kese no ba no deni onmunyamfo Mahama Yarigan so akasa wo che se MPP ameni okoni nsem omo ka se sika o muntimi fanye adwuma yi no enum nhyemo de aba oche se ehu hia sa de no betu sika bebrebe gu abonti na emom no ketiri senso na de ode ye no ya de betimi abo man ne penu so nhyemu betie ewo kase no eso afi nana poku ahye so no so akasa wo che se ye daddy lumba wenya ne ba bi kono nkebe anka chata house wo mun celebrating ne pasan se papa no wabebo ne homodin pa wa enwum to adwuma ne mu a enya asem keto akra busia asem afoforo bi no meka we ho gibre ne adaje ka me ho na me fa mu nkyeremu no me fa ensomo me hye ensem na se emfa ma odia na otwia ne beda adwa se ukopie mu o nkran ne kumase kwantempo ne so a kwanhia kese pe siama meburu be se dunum die tinto ntan mo nkante asefo hu bi me na kwanhia eye petrol tank eni o mo sprinter ihie mu enam soma eye mofre wo mo nkante asefo hu bi mu ene eno ada ene pe o mechi krabre a na enya asem ketu akwa mu nsem no na arehu ye pe no nenam so ama His Excellency John Dramani Mahama so ayo man ni nyina agya no ba montinimu a ode ya konsem kwama mofra eye o mawofo weje o mu wechira sare hu semi atrom no o se o mu nhye pa no mo nkafra no mu no che se sene da na koma pron so na bibia betimi akwaye ni big push agenda ne da na ni so ye pa so ba beboa ama sene ya kwan ni nyina na wetimi esiesie ni ese be akwanhie esi ya oyele kesi esi ato Ghana no ensan ensibi ntwemu ne nsem a wodi tu dwa wasansem no eni.
I also take this moment to extend my heartfelt condolences to the families of the 15 young people who lost their lives in a tragic accident in Obogu recently in the Ashanti region. This is a stark reminder of why our Big Push program prioritizes the dualization and rehabilitation of our major highways to reduce the spate of accident.
I will say everywhere into our son concern from me farmer or dear Kamia say ube pimo mine Ghana ha and some chef for our draw more mine Ghana ha any ube na bambo juma your coffee near strap for no more year or more any ya dear and no send fata and namra quimo. And no nam so magana man penia sign casa watch said dear course on and saying quite nam so more shiny be a jojo and some trony besides our money corner dear AC no or mutimi home for any better months in a cobasso coyene juma no kushia mania and ya dear say coye cry ain't paying think a bear dear see no or moment she muma pa ain't timin coso was answering now more who born munano and running anyone mundi send ye say na effata.
Allow me to condemn in the strongest terms the recent incident involving the manhandling of some journalists by our security personnel. Such conduct is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. I have instructed that the incident be thoroughly investigated and that the officers involved be sanctioned accordingly. As a card-bearing member of the Ghana Journalists Association, I will not preside over a government that abuses or intimidates journalists in the lawful exercise of their duty. A free and responsible press is indispensable to our democracy, and we must all work to protect the media. I'll soon convene a meeting between the heads of the security services and the leadership of the GJA to plan a program to orient our troops to recognize the media not as enemies but as partners in development.
Everywhere near concern from out there, a government accountability series, no, penny Fosuah Oduahoma Sresrebidi, Ghana penny His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Bonum Dino, Jumo dia show Monsa no send your more no baby aquacudru, and in pempen so motion in Sebecquacudru Yanano, and ye bo dia no ababijina, or no church in Nima Hodua, best abusumi see decided Brenema no wait me ababe, ama mining training and kind chrono etimia conenimo, Nenedia Meno Case, Munya for someone at George, only Jana Pasua or Casa on Neswafua. Or she and Kita who did Afia bear for quince and a bit near down the near Mabibiaco yeno, or no subagina password, then I know this summer to jar. Ninano, near Mahodua was sharing Muso Baye, the aircon and him say Bepin Nano, what the Munche Moon and my no say, any ne wokoya bear for quince nafi, TV stations are hodwa, a bano content a hodwa muye, be or higher name shame crime send for Takrabe, and then you'll be so, or say Fastica Bejisica, and if I want see the bra man 10 million amount, and a home chrono banging an watch, saying I say, Koyi cry, and I did share Bekaya, Brand people menu conity a banya and sono. and I'm so cry many abofra when you finish here do send ye case first cabbage scan to one cassa ne yonko what the Nico G drain you mukochan and mina one sem ne koyare who ye pie or caswanin in Portimore sanasa sabre na sem no see ya ne one sem ne koyare who ye pine so mama bet na so ne dear mamma moon and ya dear so best so cry TV station abeso so sa ne ma ne hwam obi abetra on fa 1 cedi mbeje 20 million ne ho crowd ba no emra no eni obedi nhwemu no ye nto aso.
If the NMC fails to fulfill their mandate of dealing with content, the NCA may be forced in the interest of public safety and morality to begin to take licensing action on the basis of unwholesome content that we are seeing. We will not, under the watch of President Mahama, allow what happened under the previous administration where ritual content drove 10-year-olds to commit murder of their own friend in Kaswa. We call on the NMC to step up its work and do what is right. I know there's a new commission and I'm urging them to take advantage. We at the NCA and at the ministry are willing and ready to comply and work with them. They need to clamp down on fetish practices and money doubling schemes that are going on TV. That is unwholesome content. And so the NMC is being called to do their work. We would support them.
I will say, signs to the Tuja or Chim say a multi choice, a Jumekuno, a Adessa or Nomsham, so Mujumedia Hodo or Moyeno, Casicasem, or Muntimi man in bra from Cacase, baby Timiabua. Magana di sheng na nebeti mienya mo emfaso and I'm so almost trauma almost sisiano and ya de se kan stem no etimi koye san se sidi no e ade se etimi ba from ne mum ne share dan gina ne pempen so se de wo e hwehwe no no nti munche mu ne nsem a wo mo hwe ni musem multi choice for be ya boa ama bibia na etimi akoye no say enu nya for someone at George or sign so edin chemu we emai
multi choice Ghana. I made the announcement that I had directed multi-choice to be present at the ministry for a meeting. At that meeting, we requested a 30% reduction in pricing for subscribers of multi-choice Ghana's packages. The meeting addressed public concerns about affordability, value for money, and fairness in service delivery. I made clear the ministry's expectation that pricing structures had to be responsive to Ghana's current economic context. I made a formal request of 30% reduction in the package pricing and gave a deadline of July 21st for a formal response from MultiChoice. On the 21st of July this year, I received a 9-page letter from MultiChoice detailing why they were refusing to reduce their pricing. Their reasons included that the cedi had depreciated in the preceding 8 years by 240%. And they claimed that my request for a reduction on the basis of the appreciation of the cedi was unfounded because, in their words, the appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi over the last 6 months has been a fluke which could not be sustainable. As minister, my fidelity is to the Ghanaian people. I have had to act in the interest of the Ghanaian people. And I believe that the Ghanaian people have been fleeced and exploited for too long. I wrote back to the NCA on Monday and directed the NCA in that letter to suspend the broadcasting license of DSTV effective 7th of August 2025 if they fail to effect a reduction in their bundle prices. I cannot, as minister, serving the Ghanaian people, continue to watch what can best be described as plain stealing happening to the Ghanaian people. In my letter to them, I gave them scenarios from 7 markets that DSTV is operating in. The same content in the premium bouquet that is offered to Ghanaians for $83 equivalent is offered to Nigerians for $29 equivalent. How can anyone explain this price disparity to me? Enough of the mistreatment of the Ghanaian consumer. They either comply with the reduction, because in Nigeria, in the same time frame that they say the Ghanaian cedi has depreciated by 240%, the Nigerian naira has depreciated by 409%. If Nigerians are paying equivalent of $29, DSTV must charge same here in Ghana, or we will suspend their broadcasting license effective 7th of August 2025.
Your sign so the tuja a year government accountability series to media nasia was signs which shame say nay telecommunications are hold one over my Ghana ha bebre na network no enye kura any opesa oni asumesi a ono wo mantamfo from dinkita ho anase mpo abe for kwan so opesa okoswa any obehwe na ne make kambo musa obekasa gina ye pem ha kosi ha osi de bisa ne ma no enya ade si ebesuso so ye kura san se ne ma hodo ne hye bebre na ene edi ama sampanyifo so mbetimi de egu akwema boa ama ye network netimi ejina namos ne koba se nkoye paade a ene enya de se ebetimi asoso saade no eso e wo sa kwan ne so nti ye koye ni mu no ye network ahodo a entimi mbo adwuma se ne se ne fata no ye sika ye de betro mu tire so a eno be ye nsenda ho se be yo be ye obadwuma ye sanse sika pudo pa no moje ko ma so ye ho hu be hia ye se adwuma papa eno mo de be magana de hye nyina nsem no eni.
Comprehensive reform package introduced in the first quarter of this year, which included a national spectrum review, a revised licensing condition tied to pricing commitments, and direct regulatory engagement with the MNOs. Additionally, the three leading operators have committed to invest a combined $150 million in their networks by the end of the year to improve quality of service and reliability. And let me make the point here that we are very well aware of the challenges of the networks relative to quality of service. And as I indicated in my last press briefing, we've given them the third quarter to implement and utilize the spectrum that has been made available to them. And subsequent to that, in Q4, we will begin rigorous enforcement of quality of service. We will not hesitate as a ministry to give policy direction to the regulator, the NCA, to impose very hefty fines on companies or mobile network operators who fail to meet their quality of service obligations.
Judge Media na se odene sembe wie no chem say DSTV so ya dia wo musika ahodo ne charges na no so pa ya oni mpanyifo akasa sen komo ntete ne ma so ye fama Ghana de hye se be ya wonum komu betimi adwom tishu ene wonum mo fa sa kwan ne so ehwe channels ahodo a eno ebunka mefa honom na enu mu eno che se besi ne no enya de se dwumedie ne hye ya ya hye wonom no DSTV for etimi edisu nti omo eye busumi ya de to so enso o ma nhwe no ma nye de se na efata de a omutumi krata etimi omo ho kwan emomu di dwuma no enya de se ombetimi atwa so sa kwan ne so ombeji ne nyina no e de free wonom ensa.
My fidelities to the Ghanaian people. I have had to act in the interest of the Ghanaian people. And I believe that the Ghanaian people have been fleeced and exploited for too long. I wrote back to the NCA on Monday and directed the NCA in that letter to suspend the broadcasting license of DSTV effective 7th of August 2025 if they fail to effect a reduction in their bundle prices. I cannot, as minister, serving the Ghanaian people, continue to watch what can best be described as plain stealing happening to the Ghanaian people. In my letter to them, I gave them scenarios from 7 markets that DSTV is operating in. The same content in the premium bouquet that is offered to Ghanaians for $83 equivalent is offered to Nigerians for $29 equivalent. How can anyone explain this price disparity to me? Enough of the mistreatment of the Ghanaian consumer. They either comply with the reduction, because in Nigeria, in the same time frame that they say the Ghanaian cedi has depreciated by 240%, the Nigerian naira has depreciated by 409%. If Nigerians are paying equivalent of $29, DSTV must charge same here in Ghana, or we will suspend their broadcasting license effective 7th of August 2025.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Epal 24-hour plus Jumedie no ehun tumano. Ade say Jumedie bebre na na hihemu a bako eye big push. Na big push ni nyina ne say kwan ni akwantempo ahodo a yetwa egu baabi na afi Jumedie ahodo a ban foforo ba ban foforo ko mu nyina omode omusa so moment mi anye ni nyina no wo ba beboa ye na etimi aboa mo man no enkan kro no etimi afa ne ntima pa etimi de fra ne nedua me no ka say so afọ no hwe ya kwan ne akwantempo ahodo so monya for Stephen Gavin Abuja waba be kasa wo chem say ye big push ne ba be boa na afi ye kwan ahodo a hu hia nsiesie mapa no ye ma ye say ye bosome no eye eduonu enan 24 months ai ye de kwa afie no ma ye mfinhia mienu no omba be hwe aye sa kwan ni nyina no etimi de fro nsɛmhwɛfo nhwɛmu ase a wo hia ye and all the sanche we am I.
The average Ghanaian has come to accept something which is very unacceptable because they see road projects start in their around their backyard, and no one can tell them when this is going to be completed. We want reset means that we need to change that narrative. So we are saying by the end of this year, month that we've entered into, all big push projects must be on site, except one which may not fully start, which is the Dambai Bridge, because we need to do further investigation and detailed design before they can actually start building. But they can start site preparation and other things. And all the projects have deliberately been structured to be 2 years span, so 24 months. And we are trying.
They won't go beyond.
No, we are not. So we break them into, because you see, I see a situation where for some reason we award a contractor 100 kilometers of road. People forget that constructing 100 kilometers of road is not a small undertaking. But maybe people are more interested in how much does it cost. They are looking at the money involved. So they take the job and just for the 7 years, 8 years, they don't do anything. We want to avoid that. And I'm saying that from now, big push, which is something that we all need like yesterday. When we award you 20 kilometers of road and we say you should finish in 24 months, we are expecting you to finish ahead of schedule. If there's any evidence of 3 months of delay, we'll write it into the contract. We terminate. We're not going to wait for you. If you like, you can go to court, because in any case, no contractor is compelled to participate in big push. You must be prepared to work 24/7 on that project. You must be prepared to finish that project within 12 months, unless something extremely unforeseen, which we can all understand. And also another problem we also noticed was lack of effective supervision, either by third-party service provider like consultants or our own staff from the various agencies. There's evidence that almost all of those did not perform the way they should be. So for instance, a road is built that should last 15 years and it fails in 6 months.
Then it has a short
exactly. And then we now need to look for another money to come forward. And we are saying from now, when you are a contractor and you want to participate in any activity at the ministry, you take the appropriate, you have to prove first of all you have the technical capability. You take the necessary insurance in terms of performance against the project. And the days when contractors go and just get an insurance firm to just give them a certain paper, believing that we are not going to cash the insurance when things go wrong. Let me remind you, this time round, we will be very happy.
Yede ebebo atro amom eno be fotro ebetimi aboa ama adwuma mapomu hia ebetimi aboa mansiesie wo ya kwan ne so etimi edimu no wo metimi enya ne sa kwan ne so pepepe nchiremu no eni.
As we are departing, a number of committees will start.
Fund to Road Maintenance Trust Fund.
Sure.
We are targeting that over the period, we are aiming, hopefully with resources, to improve over 5,000 kilometers of road network. We call it economic feeder road. That is road leading to cocoa growing areas, roads going to tourism, places of tourism, road leading to critical, food growing areas, cashew, cocoa and other things. To do those things concurrently. And fortunately, when I changed the law, what I tried to do was to say that road fund now becomes just like any statutory fund, that its allocation goes to parliament from members of parliament. So every district every year get an allocation, just like the way Get Fund, Common Fund have an allocation. So there will no longer be a district that doesn't see money from road fund, the government every year to carry out. Sometimes there's a road that just needs maybe 100,000 to patch some potholes to make it, to keep it going. But because we are not able to do that, the whole thing deteriorates, becomes a big gully, and then cut the road off.
I am free where I am comrade Shebe fee in any day, and I'm paying for quite sitting and Ninano, not just a budget, a doctor case so forcing cooking kind, you know, the tosumi no, not just any pompon soon, you know, or mocking kind their baby, and I brought more chicken 70 mono, and then I'm so much for a trade my sick as some. One also sorry, and an insema or barbecano, a sema who do no so fast casem now, and so don't come and share not just a yard, say bits me aboa. San said there was some king in an will make me a carry, and ye young Nibecaya, brano mo king kai, a budget and a kind of crano. Woman now sorry for my shibby if your sons, or Musu said the air question and name tonight in far moment, or main tea crying some who do. Now a doctor kiss out of force in a barbecana, and a swap for a baby, and Indian so barbecasano. And Omina signs so sorry any woman should free my shibby if you said they toss a d kind of comment now in tea, now they toss me no mabity, and yet they say bit me a war more ever so quietness. So their course so ever my shibby if you near you for Nika cry, the actual.
Mr. Speaker, we all recall how a certain driver's mate took control of the economy and recklessly drove it into a ditch so deep that what we inherited was nothing short of an economic crisis marked by deep debt distress and mounting debt service harms.
For Alexander Kwamina Fenyomark no ye dom kuma no ba no dani no wode nsem bi etu dwa ne nyina no ochem se ndisi ameni uko no munhwemu na ne ma hodo a ehia o man Ghana no wo munye ne nwanimu ya sanse nsem ke Canada so dodo o mugina apaso o mukasa bebre nenso Ghana for pese o mu hu nsecheni ni afin sakraye mapa e wo man Ghana hantin ke be ya kasa ne de wo munjan to baby sanse kasa tintin wo hoi en toponko kasa nso ye mframa o munjan to baby na edwuma Ghana for hwe ni musombe no wo mombe ye mboa e mo man ni timi nkonani.
And political rhetorics. We want action, and the NDC must know that the clock is ticking. We do not have time. Your 4 years, almost 7 months gone. Time is not on your side. Do something before the people boot you out. Mr. Speaker, even if money is found, implementation bottlenecks abound. A 24-hour economy needs reliable 24-hour power supply. Do we have a reliable power supply? Since you came, doomsday is what we see. The minority has suggested to this government that pursue reforms at ECG. Reforms were started. Pursue, and we will support you. What you are instead doing is coming out with new levies, because that is a convenient way. We want to tell you that if you are serious about this 24-hour economy, your duty is to undertake reforms and focus on agriculture. What you are doing will take you nowhere. You cannot continue to impose levies. At ECG, you started with 14% and then ended with another 2.7%. Then you came with another doomsday levy, all in an attempt to resolve the crisis. Yet, the key thing to pursue, which is a reform, you have abandoned it. Are you serious, or you are still in rhetorics?
ebusi ayeguso ejina mrashe bedwefie ho nene due ya ye dom kese no eye budget omukọ kinkan no omode ho pompon so ni nyina aba na wie ya dom kuma no sorry pie ye no ade sisi am no kase ya twe o ma setena ni nyina no etimi asense na asa no mbekọ no eye dom kuma no dom kese ni nyina no omode o ma no disem edit to dwa nti video ide tra so ama we dom kuma no ben deni Alexander Fenyomakin kasai o wie ye na dom kese no ba no deni Mahama Yarigan so kasai ye nsema hodo mo kan na o metimi asori so se be ya bra ya twen almost asetena na timi asensen no bo mko ba bie ma nsema hodo a ebesan ye twegu ombeto aso aye aboa ama ma na timi akọ nanimu no SMC eno mumienu edit to dwa
and the inclusion of minorities voices in decision making. Parliamentary politics then is not merely a numbers game. Yes, numbers matter, but principles matter more. At its core, Parliament is a moral contract, a shared understanding that power must be exercised with restraint, and that electoral victory, no matter how decisive, must never become a license for institutional overreach or unchecked dominance. End quote. Mr. Speaker, the majority caucus in this 9th Parliament has time and again wielded its numerical strength not as a mandate to shape and enrich debate, but we've often seen this as being used as a weapon to impose its will on the House. A clear example in their sudden increasing reliance on certificate of urgency for every bill to railroad legislation, sidestepping due diligence and undermining parliamentary scrutiny and eroding the oversight role that is so essential to our democracy. We have witnessed on multiple occasions the majority bulldozing its way through decision-making processes with scant regard for consensus or constructive engagement. But democracy is not about majoritarian tyranny. It is about balance, inclusion, and accountability. The dangerous precedent being set by the majority, where power is exercised without restraint, must not be encouraged. We would encourage our colleagues to bear with us, even as we put forward our argument to scrutinize. They must not see it as frustrating them, but they should see it as our bit in enriching parliamentary democracy. Mr. Speaker, government has time and again been compelled to reverse unlawful or ill-conceived actions after the minority raised the alarm. The so-called Doomsday levy, we welcome the suspension, but surprisingly, government used a backdoor to implement it to further burden the people of Ghana. We reiterate that we support any attempt at ensuring reforms at ECG. We do not agree to the imposition of levies and taxes. Within this 6 months alone, government has increased the levies, increased levies and imposed burden on Ghanaians when it comes to electricity consumption. And we know that the people deserve better. We support reforms and would urge government to come forward with reforms rather than imposing taxes. Mr. Speaker, it is very troubling that within this short period, a lot of businessmen are facing crisis because they are being targeted in one way or the other. The minority wonders why. Foreign businesses are doing well, but Ghanaian businesses have become targets of certain state institutions. Mr. Speaker, the recent attack on the warehouse of Magdan is something that we should all condemn. It is not proper for a country to see the unleashing of state security on the private business of a Ghanaian.
In some way, and Dom Kumano Bano Deni, for Alexander Fenyomakin, Wadi Etu, Joye Pay, and Adam Kessie and Bano Deni, Munya for Mahama Yariga, and also the same way at was.
A number of committees will still be working, and most importantly, the Public Accounts Committee will be very active and busy during the recess period. Committees also use this period to engage in site visits, monitoring and evaluation, stakeholder engagements, among others. As honorable members of this House, we understand that the recess period is never a break from parliamentary duties as it may appear to the public. Recess provides us the opportunity to visit and interact with our constituents in order to listen to their concerns and views on issues of governance and nation buildings, share meaningful insights, and receive the needed feedback from them. This period also provides us with ample time to spend with our families and loved ones, something we barely get to do due to the demands of the job. Over the past few months, we have had the opportunity to engage in fierce and rigorous debates, considered a number of bills, some under certificate of urgency, reviewed government policies, presented statements, and posed questions, mostly urgent, on matters of national importance. The committees have also been very busy and active during this meeting. Among the bills presented include the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill, which was passed, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2025, which was withdrawn, and then the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2025, which was subsequently passed, the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Amendment Bill, which has been passed, the Social Protection Bill, which was withdrawn, and then a new Social Protection Bill 2025, which has been passed, the Ghana Deposit Protection Amendment Bill, which has been referred to the Finance Committee, the University for Development Studies Bill 2025, which has been passed, the Ghana Scholarships Authority Bill, which is still at the consideration stage, the Ghana Medical Trust Bill, which passed, the famous Mahama Cares program has been passed, the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill number 2, which has been passed, the Road Maintenance Trust Fund Bill, which has been passed, the Securities and Intelligence Agencies Bill, which has been referred to the Committee on Security and Intelligence. The various instruments were also presented. The Environmental Protection, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Certificate Regulations 2025, the Environmental Assessment Regulation 2025, Environmental Protection, Management of Ozone Depleting Substances, Halocarbon Alternatives and their Products Regulation 2025, the Environmental Protection Effluent Regulation 2025, Environmental Protection.
In some way, any some Fufrobinum and Unya for Mahama Yariga, Dom Kessian Bano Deni, and Afins Munya for Alexander Quamana Fenoma Kingdom Kumano Bandeni, or Modi 2 Jabrene Dia Minoka say, Eokopimo Mashebe, you feel Master Saninano, or Metimi Atria Sense. Engine San same way, na Yenton Credit Kind Brassia Ba, Sem no Bebrena or Hamade to a Menus Yankasene so, Ediama.
Yo, I'm for and I am Makwaba at the bar, a KFM musical shopper. The Tosumi, no, who free a Kumasi Malcolm that Damono, a sunny at the bar at Dumuno, Sabran Udu, a Sambra Junction, Sambra Hotel, Quantana Sope. Now shop on any Sambra Hotel and the Dinsha anymore. Would the free Sambra Hotel, a sunny at the co, Nankane and Hagan Hono, Anne, a hot and a KFM musical shop. The Tosumi, no, yet be no fofro. Now the air can say, if you papa a timiche. The Odia sorry, the Odi grow agro ahudo. Tuma de be a woody open here a young fiddy musical instrument piano, a KFM, and to was say Ghana Muntie Asantema Muntie, a KFM musical shop, Anna Sabre, Yabian for Monuchai, a war Prempeh the 2nd Street. Ufri old Melcom down na wo sane edi ko adum no. Ane udu Sambra Hotel kwantane so. Na wa dane on sanifa so. Oho ana KFM musical shop yi ewo. Yane Sambra Hotel ana ehwe animo. Ye twa abrebia.
Jina mese. Se me ya proud ana se me ye dwa. Me free. Kumasi edum KFM instrument store. Obi bisa sa se bo me fu dia what to know we need sida. What dey near my papa? E jina wanim na what to say yes. What to know? Bibi aka wakoma. Ni nyina free KFM instrument store Kumasi edum. Se mi jina ho na me to know ma bitimi nya ho me ka fi se fi papa mu anim na mi jina no. Wo betina ye ko ma ye do se kana twa nanka kana ensemfu ayi.
Aminda Sensamo Aqua Bano Brand Wadaja Adia Femi KFM TV so yet answer ne so concern for more media mawa and edue ameno kase His Excellency Nanado Danko Ekufuado Enkanema Penny Wabo anan kopie mu ewo onmunya for Charles Kojo Fosu Daddy Lumba abamu ewo de na paka abefa ne edue ameno kase won kan ti asefo hu biem no wono su kopie mu a woni ebusua nyina no etimi kosubo mu a na enya asem keso akrɔhwɛ se ne papa enyum tuo mu waba beboa na bibia na konka abegigye ani wo saa kwan ne so ani woni ho biem na ehu behia yie so no ankasa betutu na nam no akakopie mu na tena ise be ya woni ebusua nyina no betimi asua bo be okopie mu ho no sei and I told you
Jacob.
Woman of
Ma.
Yes, sir. Very well, thank you, sir.
Ministers, MPs.
When I enquire University of Education, Winiba, na enedua menewo kase no ntokwadindin ntoka kese bi esi wo ho ewo checheni ena afin so disuani bi entemo ne nyina ne se osuani no esusu ehun se ne ebedu se nsohwe ba ene wonna obesua niema saa agu ni tirima de akwakochoro ne nsohwe ebeba nso na ne ware se poto grade basa ni atam de amano ena odwendwen ho a wanti ase ne ono atutu nanamo eko cheche no se nka o ma ne muaye sanse de ekoso no wona brabo mu ewo suku mu no enya de se wotimiti ase klasika otwa nso eni susupa na eni obesua de awie betron so hwe na grade se ne de ma na entwe ye kra nti bro kopie mu ewo mo campus eni one lecturer no wo mo kasa ne ho nkro no ba no ene nam so ama security guard ba kwa wo suku mu ho wono su kogide se oh de na ekoso eni oye se wo pata ne ho nkro no ba no sanse opata foji aba na ne osuani ni da ne ko ne so aman tokwane na nya asem keto akra sanse na ne ni abri ye pa se lecture ni ntima no answers nti ade nti a de bia no obetwero so hwewi na de aba no enya ade se timi hye nkran kra na bra okopie mu ho no sei ene ko so yentra so wo kase enu fama Ebusente no ho asem eno no yemfiri hwe na yenkofra mantemu na me no e kase ne dwe na nanom atena nkonwa mo ho no wo mu afu yie pa sanse wo mu esusu se eye immigration officers ahodo ye de o mato ehie ahodo e wo so no enya de se o mo ye o madwuma yie kura ene timamufo binum ene afin so ahoho o mo nam sa hye ne so ba kronim ne o mo nam kronim pie nyina no eni obedro ne mensen fata nkwa na ebisa esika enhu hia nkra na ebisa asetua ni nyina no mo chesenya de se boa emo masete no mo ne omote wo ne koyie krantin kebe ya empanyifo mo ho no mo form 96 from tissue ene framantem so afo na afin so ye Ghana mampani na sankrofo we nyina no ye nyi omo atose akonya sanse adwuma de ahye omo nsa no enye no ena wonom eye nchemu no yento aso
the Asikuma and Sogakope inland immigration posts and the Juapon joint military and police barriers continue to be of concern to us as a region. Indeed, it is very humiliating when you get to these inland immigration posts and you are asked to get down from your bus, walk a certain distance before you join your bus again to continue your journey to wherever you're going. Your Excellency, my chiefs and I have debated this issue, and we think we should make a special case to you to see what can be done to remove those inland immigration posts and the Juapon joint military and police barrier from our region. We'll be extremely grateful if you tackle this problem and solve it once and for all. Your Excellency,
no wasem eno no yento aso na yen consent from entimi famao na otwi esi mu ide eno munyamfo magdan ene warehouse ba ko de ejuri ni nyina editrugu esanse bia ye esie no mentimu ase kakra ewo ho a na eho nsem no ewo honom sa na enedua me no wokasei nananom atena nkonyo mo wala nso aba be kasa ni nyina no wo mo sesensa ase no mentimu ase nam so na afi womo chesenye papa dia enam ho kra me ebubu a ne warehouse ne ho nkro no ba no womo so akwa ya amamre ni amane a ne nyina no womo de bonsa se ne ho bai we ye nanan matena nkonyomo ola omo na di sa adwumadi e wo nkran mantem ya
We should never pay that. Maybe the time Emra Akufo Oduahoma no mo ye say into yenso ya ba ye say OGD say and this betima tena power until the kingdom come akonga ne be sisa o enti obu obi ade ne a ochina ye bebu die but when Ghana yentra Ghana enye niema bi a ense magdan ninkoa employment ewo Ghana no nepa busumia o hwewom ana o twawon ka no bofa onya ye MP onya ye minister da anso nepa omano omunsako omano no o magdan sam no yo imagination
say that sansen we so ne dan ye ne ba ye to aso edwedie ensebu Sayento aswe na yenko yemra shebe dwefi na Ghana de shebe kaya bra Dr. Keso atoforsin wo de budget de tosumienu ekotu dwa no ene ho nsem no eyese bubruja dom kuma no kra de o mant na okra ntie mu nsem kra sanse na ehu enhyeda enhia wono mo na ene dua me no wo kase ye dom kuma no chese enema ahodo e wo se dom kese ne ye no enye no no mo ye sika no akakra kankwa nsoso nema no hu se bi ofasodie bi e wo so ene nam so ama dom kese no ba no dani Mahama Yarigan so ababe kasa wo chem se sika na nye ne kese na mum ne ketere senso de omoye no e ya de sese bi onyansa wo mpa e beboa amoman ne hihye na timi akonim.
Clearly, I have heard my colleague and the NPP complain about lack of spending. Lack of spending. We are not spending. We are not spending. Mr. Speaker, it is true that we are not spending on wasteful expenditures. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, what is the value? What is the value to the state when you spend 280 million Ghana cedis building a structure that you are supposed to spend 81 million Ghana cedis building? What is the value to the state? So that you can boast that you were spending, and you spent 280 million Ghana cedis to build the Bank of Ghana headquarters when you were told that you could build a structure with 81 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, what is the value? What is the value of spending? What is the value of spending when you spend hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis to dig a hole in the name of building a cathedral for God? What is the value of spending? How can you commend yourselves for spending when you are spending monies digging holes and cathedrals were not emerging from those holes? Mr. Speaker, it is true that we may not be spending as much as you would want us to spend, but that is because we will not engage in wasteful spending.
Osi ayenjira ne nsem so e na ayen dan ne ye ba ye wie bibia e wa hosepemu e di amawo. Yenwien sem ni nyina mfa ma odia eye nana poku ashes wono ene ye manager edema kwabena wo ye nyumtuni e wo man Ghana ha no so ye high life artist no no aba be kasa ne nsem no wakasa fa eye Charles Kojo Fosuah Oduahoma e wo ne ho wo chem se hu behia ye pa se ye Charter House omutimi adwumedie kese pa eno ye national celebration a wo mode share eye Oduahoma enimonyam sanse ye kan enwomto adwuma ye high life enwomto na papa yi wa beboa papa obi a wato nwum mfinhia na aduasa enya asem ketwa enti obi a waye beye adwuma se abone homoden ama wono mo ye nchima kwanya ne so mfa so wanwomto kwan so waka enchine gwada ne benkum so ne hu behia ye se dwumedie kese se omutimi edihye na nemu na ebua ma bibia etimi koyi nti ono de eya desrede pa ene da na koma pono so ene dia waba montene dia aba betudwa wo hwe anim se nka Charter House wo mo hwe na sa dwumedie kese wo monye emfa nhye ye dade numba enmunyam sanse dwumade wa bebo bi pa e wanwumto adwumani waboa ama bibia na etimi akoyi sanse dia opoton wonchini se wodi bom sisi anso di bom enye yi sanse won kanti asifo bi mti saade a edwumedie ne ebe ya ye betimi edi ahye ne munyam ti we ne nsema opanyi wono so edi aba montini yengira ne nsema so ne enwume no si akase ye boabo no besum ne nyina no ye mfambra ewie ya asana ne ye mfa aseda ma KFM Musical Center Talent Microfinance dadaba take up and afin so follow me to Naki's Kitchen sanse wo mo ena ebo metridom mamide nsema hodro no ebe somo ene ye fiada bojaye na wotwe eda ye nimu so no bomode na ye ototo ne emeye na hwe ho sie na yankopon so enhwe wo so ye be hye biem age se ejuada me amide kase ne bro no eye Afia Fosuah Oduahoma Sresrebidi from Afia madase ama omo ene hweniti makra